Well, I'm here to tell you that down the road, if times do get tough, you're going to have to learn to know how to cut firewood. And no, you ain't going to be doing it with a chainsaw. So you'd be a wise man to get you a good bow saw. I've talked about that in other videos. But something else that you might want to think about is what you're wearing. And a lot of you city boys, you ain't got what is called long johns. It's just an insulated undercovering under your clothes. Long johns, they call them. And rest assured, they got some pretty good quality stuff these days. It'll suck the moisture away from you and keep you warm. Most people think when times get tough or what have you, the only way to survive is to have a wood-burning stove or something like that, and that'd help for daggone sure. But at the same time, I've known a number of people that survived through winters with almost no fire. And a good example, I had a great uncle, and back in the 30s there just wasn't much firewood around, and so that's what they did. He lived alone in a shack with no insulation in it, and he was getting to be an old man, so he didn't even cut his own wood. And Dad talked about one time going over there, and he said it was about 0. And walked in the house, and he said it was almost 0 in the house, just as cold as it was outside. And he didn't have a fire going or nothing. And so he walked over to the bed. It was just a two-room house. And he walked over to the bed then, a big pile of covers. And the old man, he thought maybe he was dead because there didn't seem to be any movement under them covers. But he said Dad started wiggling the covers some and pulling them back, and there he popped up, you know. And he had 8 blankets over him, keeping him nice and snug and warm without any fire. And so there's one of the tricks. Dad talked about in the 30s that he would take and put his clothes in the bed right along with him and under a bunch of covers, because the fire would go out in the night and they didn't want to get up and start the fire again. Plus they was real low on fuel. They used mostly corn cobs to burn, but he said they'd just wait till morning, then they'd jump out, start the fire, and run back and jump in bed. And they'd get dressed in bed and their clothes were warm. And if you got warm clothes, it's a lot easier to get going mentally in the beginning of the day. Then they'd get back up and the fire would be going. They'd cook themselves a couple of eggs and then outside to milk the cows and start taking care of the livestock. But rest assured, warm clothes are something, if you don't have any now, they talk about stockpiling food, ammunition. Some people will tell you to buy gold or silver, but I'm telling you a good pair of long johns and some insulated clothing is something that you better have. This is McCook's Mr. Bill. Rate this film.